Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who Big Finish review. In today's Doctor Who Big Finish review, I'll be reviewing Devil in the Mist, the first main range release for 2019. And it's quite an exciting one because we see the return of Kamelion. Yes, that robot was basically stuck in a cupboard for all its time on the programme. So I would say that I wouldn't say that this release is monumental. I would say it's more of a, ooh, that's very intriguing. It is becoming difficult for Big Finish to surprise us and do something different and new and exciting for the classic series of Doctor Who, isn't it? Because, you know, Big Finish has been going for 20 years now. So I think the next exciting thing we could expect, hopefully, is Dodo. You know, Jackie Lane reprising a role as Dodo to do some early adventures. That'll be the next exciting thing. Imagine if that happened. That'd be absolutely crazy. So yeah, Devil in the Mist is the first story to kickstart the Doctor Who line of Big Finish products for this year. Now January has been a mega month for Big Finish. They've literally just thrown everything at us. We've had this, we've had the 4th Doctor Adventures Series 8 with his new companion, with the Drashigs, how exciting. And then we've had the Diary of River Song Series 5 where we see the River meet 4 Masters. And of course we have the David Bradley Adventures Volume 3. So we'll see if this is one of the highlights from January's Big Finish. So taking a look at the presentation for this release, we have the Doctor Ver, Tegan, Turlo, a spaceship, then we have the 2 Harrogane, so we have Orna and Raku, then we have Kamelion, then we have some Mist there and the Doctor Who logo there. The side of the release and the back of the release, so if you want to know more about the story then feel free to pause. And then we have the cast list there, at the running time being 120 minutes. So taking a look at the leaflet, we have production credits for this release, we have advertising for Doctor Who magazine, we have 2 cast photos there, and the next instalment in the main range, Black Thursday and Power Game. So we've got sort of 2 one-hour stories there, so that'll be quite exciting. Then we have the reversible cover there, which I really do like, so yeah, there we go. And the disc art is exactly the same for both. So what do I think of Devil in the Mist? Well, I'm a big fan of Cavan Scott, as I really do enjoy the work he and Mark Wright have done, from The Eternal Battle, The Many Deaths of Joe Grant and Project Twilight. Now I have experienced this solo stuff in the form of the 12th Doctor novel, The Shining Man, which I enjoyed and have reviewed, so I'll leave a link in the description below to that review if you want to check that out. So did this story live up to my expectations? Well, this release has been very mixed, with some people going, yeah, that wasn't my cup of tea, and others saying, I really liked it. So where do I stand? Well, I'm a mixture of both. I really did enjoy this story, but I feel like it's missing something, because this story sounds incredible, full of action and peril, but I do feel like I need to re-listen to it to make a firm judgment on this story. Part 1. Now this story does seem like a perfect continuation from the TV series, as we have Tegan trying to get used to Kamelion as she thinks he's up to no good, which causes some nice funny moments, and Tegan really questioning the Doctor's judgment, and even throws Turlo in there saying, well, you tried to kill the Doctor, which I really do like, because this story really does test this TARDIS team. Now this being a 1980s story, in good old 1980s Doctor Who style, the TARDIS malfunctions and crash lands into a Harrogane spaceship. Yes, the Space Hippos, which I believe appeared in the 9th Doctor Chronicles. I don't know, I don't own that release, but I believe they appeared in that. With Turlo getting a nice funny line going, my best friend was a hippo, so if you've seen Mordred Undead, you'll find that quite a nice little throwback, as it were, who are carrying a prisoner called Nustanu, this devil character who can transform into mist. So throughout the episode we learn why he is so deadly. Now the story overall does feel very comic book-esque. It does feel like Cavan Scott went to Titan and went, you know what, I've got an idea for a 5th Doctor comic. And Titan was just like, yeah, we might do that, but not at the moment. So obviously he went to Big Finish and thought, you know what, let's try this. So it does feel like a very comic book style story. So if you're into that type of thing, then you'll like this. With this episode being incredibly fast paced, as this story really does not hang about, with the final 10 minutes being incredibly tense, with the spaceship about to crash and Nustanu escaping his prison. Overall, it's a very strong opening to the story. This episode is very fast moving, introduces the supporting characters extremely well. However, it does have that sort of Dominators feel, with a lot happening and basically telling the whole plot, and you're left wondering, you know, how on earth are they going to drag this out for another 3 episodes? Part 2, so with Tegan and Kamelion on one side of the planet and the Doctor and Turlo on another, with the Doctor being badly injured. If you didn't know that the Caves of Androzani was the 5th Doctor's last story, you honestly would think the Doctor is going to regenerate by the end of this story. So it really does have a lot of peril for the Doctor. And so this part uses isolation very well, with them crash landing on a mist-filled planet, perfect for Nustanu to hide. However, this part practically forgets about Nustanu, the villain of this episode as it were, but for a very good reason, which will be revealed in episode 4, so I can forgive it. We expand on the Harrogane culture. I feel this episode really does utilise Tegan very well, with her building a raft, And in this episode just really flew by, with only being 21 minutes, so it's a really nice, simple Part 3 listen. Really shows how hostile this world is, with Tegan being attacked by snakes, Turlo climbing a cliff, and the Harrogate are starting to turn against the TARDIS crew. With Kamelion missing, and something very strange has happened to Kamelion, and we get a very classic style cliffhanger. Part 4, well, a great continuation from Part 3, with it being very tense, and this episode I generally don't want to say too much on, as this is where the major plot twists happen. With some very surprising revelations, and it just makes the story, you know, go full circle. And I think it's best for you, the listener, to discover all the surprises and plot twists what happen within episode 4. Moving on to characters now. Well, this story has a very small cast list, which makes it feel more intimate, with each character getting their own moment to shine. The Doctor, Peter Davison, another excellent performance, with him very much being like a school teacher, stopping everyone from arguing, so he's very much the peacekeeper within this story. But that being said, this story really does test the Doctor, as he's in constant danger and peril. And I said, you know, earlier on in the review, you know, you genuinely feel like, how on earth is he going to get out of this one? Because you genuinely feel like he could regenerate at any moment throughout this story. But Davison really does shine, especially in episode 4. And I like that Big Finish are giving him that sort of sardonic wit which he has in the Caves Androzani, which offers him some great one-liners, and, you know, gets Davison to show another side of his Doctor, really. Tegan, Janet Fielding, brilliant performance, as this story really does allow Tegan to shine, proving that she's not just a mouth with legs, with her changing her outlook from being a pessimist to an optimist. So that's quite a nice change, isn't it? But that being said, we do have the classic Tegan, what we all know and love. Turlo, Mark Strickson, I would say that he's the companion what's very much pushed to the side, but he does have some nice moments to shine, especially in Part 3, and keeping the Doctor in line and not hiding the truth about the Doctor's injuries to Tegan. But we do have a traditional Turlo with him being a bit cowardly at times and a bit pessimistic. Kamelion, played by John Coleshaw. Now, John Coleshaw does a superb job bringing Kamelion to life, with him really capturing the rhythm of speech what Grendel Flood had, with him having that slightly unsettling tone. The story expands on when he was with the Master. You know, he helps the Doctor fix the TARDIS and can be a bit of a show-off at times, but this story really does show Kamelion off, and he's used effectively in the environments he's in within this story, which is really nice to see Kamelion used to his full potential. So what are my overall thoughts on Devil in the Mist? Well, overall I did enjoy Devil in the Mist. I feel like it utilised all the companions to their advantage. Tegan was used very well. The story shows the potential Kamelion had and uses him to his advantage. You know, this story is full of action and peril, with danger being everywhere. However, I feel like this story is missing something, and I cannot quite put my finger on what it is. As, you know, this story sounds incredible. It's action, it's got great character moments, and lots of danger. So I do feel like this story would benefit from a re-listen, and I think that's a common theme across the board with what people have said about this story, that they don't know how to quite feel about it, because they say they enjoyed it, but it just feels like they need to re-listen to it to get a firm judgment. And I'm definitely one of those people who are just like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but I feel like it's missing or lacking something. So I do feel like I need to re-listen to this one in the near future. So I'm torn between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. So I think I'm going to be kind and I'm going to be generous. I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because there are aspects I really did enjoy. I really did like the whole constant danger feel, and I loved how this story really tested the companions, and the Doctor is just really put through a lot. You know, you do feel like the Fifth Doctor could regenerate at any moment throughout this story, because there's just a lot of danger the Fifth Doctor's in, really. And I feel like this is a great reintroduction to Kamelion, because I feel like this story does show what potential Kamelion did have, but was never really realised because of how dodgy the prop was. Hence why he was basically stuck in a cupboard for all his time on the show, practically. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And I'm definitely going to re-listen to it, because there are some things I really did enjoy about it. But there is something about this story what I cannot put my finger on, where I'm just like, yeah, that didn't click with me. So yeah, I feel like the story is missing something. Whatever that thing is, I'm sure I'll find out when I re-listen to it, and I probably have a better judgment on this story. But I did enjoy it, and I would recommend it if you're a fan of comic books, because it does have that sort of comic book feel, because it is very much, you know, action-packed, you know, danger everywhere. It is constantly throwing danger and peril at you. You know, right from the word go, practically. It is, you know, action-packed, as it were. So it is a good story, and I think that it is a strong start, and it is a nice way to reintroduce you back to the Fifth Doctor's world of Big Finish, and obviously it is a great reintroduction to Kamelion, practically. So yeah, I do enjoy it, but like I said, there is something about this story what niggles me, what I just cannot put my finger on, and that's the thing what's annoying me. So I will definitely give this a re-listen at some point. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. So I'm going to give Devil in the Mist an 8 out of 10, and I'll see you on my next Big Finish review, which will be the 4th Doctor Adventures Series 8, where we see the 4th Doctor with his new companion, Anne Kelso, and of course K9 Mark II, and of course some Drashig. So yes, I'll see you in that video very soon. So thank you very much, and bye bye.